Transportation barriers are the #1 reason for missed cancer appointments. So our next guest decided to do something to get the word out about the American Cancer Society's free Road to Recovery program. We are joined by volunteer and cyclist Jeff Molby to tell us about his cross-country mission. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. You've come a long way.
Yeah.
How many miles have you biked so far?
9,374.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm just getting started because I figure all of that is nothing compared to the 10 or 20 miles that stand in the between way too many people and the cancer treatments that could save their lives. So we think a lot about the research, but it just doesn't do any good if somebody can't get to the appointment, right? So.
Absolutely. So this program that you're trying to raise awareness and raise funding for is all about getting people to their cancer appointments, which, like you said, sometimes that free ride can make all the difference.
Absolutely. Most people have family or friends that can help them and whatnot, but it's not that simple for everybody, right? And so ACS tries to be available for anybody that has any barriers there for whatever reason and try to fill those cracks.
So how did you get involved? What inspired you to help with this?
My dad had cancer years ago, colon cancer. They found it early, and so fortunately it went very smoothly for him. And honestly, I took it for granted at the time. It wasn't until years later I started meeting people that had the other experiences with cancer and really opened my eyes to how lucky we had been. And so then I started getting involved with ACS and in little ways, some fundraising here and there. And then last year my son went off to college and I found myself with an empty nest and maybe a bit of a midlife crisis. And I was ready for a change of scenery, but I didn't know where I wanted to go. So I figured I'd hop on my bike and kind of tour around the country for a while, see what I could see. And then I wanted to take my volunteerism along with me. And that's when I realized that I could start advocating for this program and build the awareness to help it kind of get back to its pre-pandemic levels. Because right now we're just way short on volunteers.
Wow. Okay. So not only do they need funds, but volunteers are critical to provide those rides.
Yeah. The whole program is it's like a volunteer version of Uber. It's
and for specifically
cancer patients, anything related to that cancer diagnosis. If so the volunteers sign up and there's the paperwork and background checks and all that you got to go through. But once you're in the program, you see who in your area needs a ride. And when you see a ride that fits your schedule in your region, you raise your hand and you help out your neighbor.
Did that open your eyes the first time you maybe log on to that app and you see how many people needed rides?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, really. The drivers here so far this year in the greater New Orleans area have given 579 rides already.
Wow.
But there were another 318 that we had to say no to because we just didn't have a driver available to help them. So
if somebody is hearing this right now and says, yeah, I could give a ride every once in a while, I could be on that app and just check so that maybe those 318 rides don't go without help. How can they sign up to volunteer?
And it really is that simple. A couple rides a month is all they ask. And they can go on to, I set up chemoriders.org to kind of encompass everything for my journey. So if you're interested in any of that, you can follow me there. And there's information on how to sign up there as well. The program itself is run by the American Cancer Society, and you can find information on their site at cancer.org/drive.
Cancer.org/drive. If you want to hear more about Jeff's ride, you can go to chemoriders.org. Thank you so much for what you're doing, and good luck with the rest of your ride.
Thank you so much.
All right.